A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Let's quickly look at it. Topic sentence here. The human right should find its place in the constitution of every country. These rights, I know B is definitely not a topic sentence because I have these rights, which means it's referring to something. Universal rights without indistinction of any kind is a feature of human rights. This is more of an additional statement, okay. Human rights are those rights that are fundamental for the human life. Seems like a topic sentence, right? Like a pretext. So, let's keep this in the parking lot. Every country should ensure human rights to its citizens. More of a reiteration or a culmination, closing sentence. Human rights are rights to certain claims and freedoms. So, this is explaining what or expanding on what human rights are. F. These rights again, these rights again. So, I have to choose between, I don't have to choose. Looking at it, I know that, usually, or rather D is setting the pretext, right? Human rights are those rights that are fundamental. That's another clue word for you, right? Something very basic. So what are these human rights? Which context is explaining to me a little more about this? F, human rights, what are they? They are rights to certain claims. So F, DF, human rights are rights to certain claims and freedoms for all human beings all over the world. So some sort of what is a clue phrase for you from F? It's talking about all over the world. So we're talking about national, international, right? So which is the context that is helping me or connecting after DF? So see, there's a clue word for you. See, the first topic sentence you have fundamental. The next topic sentence is talking about all over the world. So both of them, all over the world, obviously universal, right? So B is referring to both. So these rights, besides being fundamental and universal in character, assumed international dimension. So addressing both. So DFBE. Then what? What's the next one? What's the clue word? So these rights, besides being fundamental and universal in character, assumed international dimension. So let's look for connecting words, right? You might be stuck here after this. You don't know what is it going to be. So let's look at connecting sentences. So universalization of rights without any distinction of any kind is a feature of human rights. Okay. So what are the things that I have left? I have A, C, E, G, H. So for me, E and A are almost like culminating sentences. So I'm going to leave that towards the end. It's like because of all this, this is what should happen. Blah, blah, blah. Look at E and A. It's more like culminating sentences. So let's just figure out between C, E, not E, C, G and H. Right? C, G, H. Let's look at that. So I have these rights ensure to make man free. These rights recognize the basic human needs and demands. Universalization of rights without any distinction of any kind is a feature of human rights. Okay, let's look at B, right? Because we're trying to connect to the next sentence. So these rights, besides being fundamental universal, assumed international dimension. See, I'll tell you why, Aditi, A is not the topic sentence, simply because I have should. Now, should as a modal verb, always gives me the meaning of the right thing to do. Right? You should pay your taxes. You should follow traffic rules. It's the right thing to do. Why should human rights find its place in the constitution of every country? There are various other reasons explained in the passage. So that's why for me, A seems more like a culminating. So because of all this, it should find its place in the constitution of every country. That's why I will not look at A as a topic sentence. See, because just saying, every country should ensure human rights to its citizens. And how can this be achieved? It should find its place in the constitution. So for me, connecting sentences are, A following E. This is one connecting sentence for sure. Right? We just have to figure out where the C, G and H goes in line. So going back to the passage, Human rights are those rights that are fundamental. What F explains what those rights are. B addresses both fundamental and universal in character. I'm just going to go with instinct H. These rights ensure to make man free. Is a feature of human rights without any distinct universalization. And what do you have left? G. These rights recognize the basic human needs and demands. See, without any distinction of any kind is a feature. So I think G kind of explains that feature a little more, which is to recognize the basic human needs and demands. So this universalization of rights is nothing but recognizing the basic human needs and demands. Like one of the features is to do that. So I feel, again, C and G are connecting thing. H seems like somewhere we need to fit it, and I'm fitted here. But let's see. I just want to understand the logic again. These rights ensure to make man free. So I think in terms of just these rights, so I'm going to go with this sequence, I think. So, but where will you fit H? Make man free. Why should it make man free? Assumed. Okay. I'm going to base my reason on this, right? Why does it assume international dimension? Simply because it kind of liberalizes or gives the freedom that man needs. And that's probably one of the reasons why it is assumed or it has been able to take up an international dimension, because it's very appealing to everyone, right? So I think that's the reason why H has to follow B. DF we know is definitely a connect. BH, I told you why. B we know why is a connect to F. DFB so far is clear, but my explanation for H being a result or following B is simply because why would these rights assume international dimension? Because the concept of it making man free is very, very appealing to the mass, right? That's why. And then you have universalization of rights without any distinction of any kind is a feature of human rights. In fact, what is one of that feature is G. These rights recognize the basic human needs and demands. And then you have EA. Every country should ensure human rights to its citizens. The human rights, how is that possible? Put it in the constitution. Okay. So, again, after the first couple of sentences, a little, it took a little time, but yeah, I'm going to go with this sequence. So, let me write it here again. D, F, B, H, C, G, E, A. This is our sequence, right?